Chowkey County Park District reconvene for 8/24/15 at 10 a.m. Yep.
Okay, the Park District provided to us revised appropriations for 2016 with their resolution 2415. That in effect increases their estimated expenses for 2016 from $6,784,054.08 to $9,834,055, changing the ending balance from $4,009,704.68 to $959,703.76. Construction fund also had an increase in estimated revenue due to transfer from $519,000 to $3,369,000. And estimated expenses changed from $2,238,840 to $2,446,500.
So tell me what sheet I'm looking at. I got so much paper.
This one.
That was that one.
Okay. Where would that be? That is a copy.
I don't have that one either, but is that the new one you
This
did?
is the new one.
Okay.
I thought I ran that up to your office. You make copies.
Well, I was already given all the paper, other than the one.
You guys gave us part.
It is kind of hard to hear on here.
Got all the documents.
According to your document, John, somewhere in 2016, you're going to request a new line item, a new fund, transfer to land improvement fund, which hasn't been set up. The process to set that up is your board approves it, commissioners approve it, and it's got to be approved by the state of the
That's correct.
Okay.
Michelle's been in contact with the state auditor.
Yeah, only the state auditor approves them, not the commission.
The process has always been to go to the commissioners
For a capital reserve,
for a fund. Any fund.
not that one. By statute, it only goes to the state auditor.
And check with the commissioners just to make sure. That's the way it's always been. Anytime we're creating a new fund,
Yeah, I don't know why it would go there.
commissioners,
We'll look at that.
yeah, commissioners approve it and send it down to the state approves it or allows it or disapproves it. Just so we're on the record. Yeah. I would be happy to stand corrected, and if it's only for a year,
Well, I think it may just be for the capital reserve fund to treat it. That's what I'll look at.
it's fund per se.
Yeah,
I mean, and
they may have, the legislation may have left that out in the reference. The reserve fund is thinking that you automatically look at the other ones.
I just tell you what I've been told, so.
The park date, Missouri.
Could we interrupt for 1 second? We got a majority of the board here. It's your meeting, but we want to make sure we didn't want to follow public meeting requirements. So with the majority here, we sent out a notice that this was going to be also a board meeting. So just for the record, Mary, we could just call the board of park officials meeting in order, and then they may or may not participate at all in the discussion process. We just didn't want to run into any problems.
I'd like to call the Jacket Park District Board meeting to order,
And we can roll.
and ask Cecilia to roll call.
I call the roll. Mr. Warndor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shumway?
Yes.
You finished with your presentation?
I am.
Of these numbers? Okay. So in review of the budget for last week, the estimated expense was 6.7 million, now it's 9.8 million dollars. In the construction fund, it was $2.4 million. And now it's it was $1.8 million, and now it's $2.4 million. And you are indicating to us that the creation of what are we gonna call this fund?
Capital reserve,
The capital reserve,
2016.
2016, that's correct.
so you're indicating to us that the construction fund is also going to increase in its estimated expenses. Is that correct?
So to move money into this, for 2016, this reserve balance account, we would be dedicating, we should have received a memorandum from us on Friday afternoon. We will be dedicating this 2.85 million to 4 projects listed there. Maple Highlands Trail South asphalt, high property improvements, Ellerin property improvements, and restrooms improvements.
Are any of those projects that were previously on but brought off because of the change in management? You've been holding them back.
No, not necessarily. A lot of them were conceptual, we're simply committing to them, the money being appropriated to them.
Okay, so going forward, there are no more projects that have been held back for due to
Because
concerns
of board
of
changes.
change in leadership. Okay. As my concern always has been, we have been accruing since, just to review, from 2010 in the capital fund, in the construction fund, 41, there was a cash balance, a real cash balance of about $700,000. That amount has grown to $3.2 million. Every year, we have been told annually that it's going to be spent down, spent down, spent down. Instead, it has grown almost 5-fold in 6 years. That's always been my concern. So now you are indicating to us that some of that cash balance of $3.3 million is going to go into the capital reserve fund. Is that correct? How much of that $3.2 million is going to go over?
2.8 million.
And that does not include the additional expenditures of $3.5 million out of the general fund. Right? So it's all those capital projects that you're going to spend that $3 million on in this coming year.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna take $2.8 million and put it into a special reserve fund in which you have 10 years' time to spend it, not allocate it, spend it. And it's a continuous budget item, so that any monies you put into it next year will then have a 10-year time as well.
Well, you can create a separate fund each year,
Okay?
and that's what they'll have to decide next year.
But wait, I'm confused, Chris. I thought this 2.8 million was gonna go into the existing line construction fund.
No, it doesn't need to do.
Where's the 3.5 million?
Transfer through
We're transferring out of the general fund 3.5 million.
3.35. It's a total of 2.85 that will be transferred into the newly created capital improvement land acquisition fund,
That's one we're
2016,
talking
that
about.
we are talking about, yes, and 500,000 to the land improvement fund. The total of that is 3.35 million.
Okay,
And then for the 2016 projects, that amount that we are going to be paying on the land improvement fund is $2,446,900.
Where's the 2.8?
The 2.85 million that we're putting into this newly created capital improvement land acquisition fund will be designated for projects that we hope to have, ready in 2017 or 2018, as noted in the memo. There's more projects that we, have mentioned. As part of this capital improvement land acquisition fund, we have to, when we create this fund, we have to designate, at least a location, so we designated the West Woods, we have that, the 4 locations. We have 10 years to use them, we will use them before that, as long as, if this project goes planned and we're move forward on it in 17 and 18. That's the plan. If we decide to add additional funds to answer that question, we would create new funds, because that would be our 2016 capital improvement land acquisition fund. If we want to do this again in the next year, the funds in reserve for capital improvement land acquisition, we create a new fund for capital improvement land acquisition, 2017, 2018. And they would reserve funds at that time for those projects in that year. And then we would hold that money for those as well.
So with the assumption that this fund is going to be approved next year,
Yes,
3.350 money will be transferred into that fund.
2,850,000.
There's 500,000.
It says 3.35 here on this transfer.
2,850,000 plus 500,000 is 3,350,000. 500,000 is going to land acquisition fund, 2,850,000 is going to capital improvement land acquisition. So it's a split between 2 accounts, it's a total of 335.
As one member of the Budget Commission, a proposal has been submitted, and my hope is that it will be followed far more closely than it has been in the past. Because in the past, the Budget Commission and the taxpayers have been misled to the tune of almost $10 million of cash. That's a lot of dough, and it's all taxpayers' money. None of it is your money. So now, the proposal is to take 2.8 and put it into a new account under which we have no review. But you are held to your own state mandated expenses for that fund. So the state watches over that money, not us. Okay.
True.
The state's the one who audits the fund. But we have 10 years before they would cite us if we didn't
Right.
either spend it or you have to put it back to the funds where it came from.
It still comes to you for budget commission appropriations.
We'll see it on this sheet.
Yeah,
we'll see appropriations.
But there's nothing for them to approve next year on the, your approval today puts that money in there for 2016. So
The only thing we would see is whether or not you
You'll
spend
s-
it.
But you will see the transfer come through the budget commission time.
Okay.
And then you'll see it again next year if we, are moving money out to transfer for purposes of the acquisition and also for, so you will see, any kind of activity in this account. You also see, as you do the other 2 funds, you'll be approving at this time of year, the cash balance, just like we do our other 2 funds. You already actually have a reserve fund, our retirement reserve fund, and third fund on this. That is, the RRA fund, that is actually the same type of fund set up under the same ORC code, that's what this will be set up under.
Well, frankly, much as $82,000 is still a lot of money,
Yeah,
$10 million is more factorially. So I'm not as worried about the reserve retirement account, which shows 0 expenditures right away. So I am willing to support this budget, but as we have observed previously, if the proposed budget is not honored substantially, you've lost me next year, and I will do all I can to preserve the taxpayers' money. All right?
I agree with you. The only thing you need to keep in mind next year, hopefully I'm not here reminding you, the 2,000,008 is not planned to be spent next year, it's planned to be spent in 2017, 2018. But what you will be able to ask them is, what have you done to get yourself ready for construction in 2017? Because they gotta go through design and bidding and all that, so they should be able to tell you what progress has been made.
We just suggest if there is a cash balance that exceeds $3.2 million in that construction Q41 fund now, I'm gone. But I'm only one of three. I go.
Yeah, my issue is this is more, this, they're telling us this is what we're gonna do in the future. And, I would say that it's a story I think the Budget Commission's heard a lot in the past, but, I do acknowledge that, you have new board members, you have some new leadership at the park. And I don't know that it would be fair to not give that and give those people an opportunity to prove themselves despite what's happened in the past. One of the things I wanted to talk about, I got a letter from the Protect Jug and Parks Group, asking us not to suspend the levy, almost like that. And, again, the 86 levy was reaffirmed by the voters in 2012. And this is not about me wanting to overturn the will of the voters. All three of us are elected by the voters. We care a great deal about what the voters in this county think. And when voters approve levies, whether you vote for them or against them, you have to respect that result. I agree with all that. The problem is the voters were misled in 2012, and that's where we have to keep political subdivisions honest. The year before that levy was on the ballot, they said that they would have a $2 million estimated ending balance, actually a $4.1 million estimate in the general fund. They said they'd have almost a $1.9 million deficit in their land and construction fund in 2011, and they had a $1.1 million surplus. So what the voters were presented with in 2012, with the 2011 numbers, were not only inaccurate, they were completely wrong. And again, that's misleading. So it's not about us overturning the will of the people, it's about keeping entities honest when they're presenting their case to the people about how much money they need. And when they present their case to the people in 2012 that they needed the levy renewed, the numbers really don't show that. And our problem is we can't correct those wrongs until down the line. So that's a frustration. Again, this is, I think, another commitment from the Park District. We're going to spend these dollars, we're going to use them. This is our plan, and I appreciate that. But it's something we've heard before. But I do think that the new group should be given an opportunity to at least show us that they're going to do that. So I'd be in favor of it, but I'm kind of where Chris is. I'd be looking. I want to see what happens between now and next year, and going forward from there. I think you'll lose me pretty quickly if the trend continues. I would be right back towards voting to suspend the levy. So, but I'd be in favor of voting for this budget now.
Is that a motion?
Wait,
Frank said his piece too.
No, the 2016, you're gonna spend the 1.9.
It's right here, John.
1.9%.
Yes,
That's
that's.
That's what you're gonna spend on these projects.
Yes.
Make sure that's what they're spending.
Who wants to make a
I'll
motion?
move to approve.
I'll second it.
Yes.
All in
Yes.
favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. I didn't say aye. Yes, you gotta say aye.
I said yes.
Do we have other business? Beth?
Yes.
Oh, we have Middlefield, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So you weren't the only ones who did that.
No, we moved it.
Our meeting's still going, we have another.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the park board.
Roll, Mr. Wondorf.
Yes.
Mrs. Shumway.
Yes.
There's a
There should be two there.
So they've done the